Welcome to Silver Lining Podcast. This is a live version. You see in front of a real green screen, you see Adam, who's not yet joined us. He's on his phone.
I'm here. Can you hear me? This is a new microphone. I'm in Tucson, Arizona at my friend Eric's house, and this is his son Dallin's room. And he makes music, so he's got a really nice recording studio in here with a good mic and all that. So he has a legitimate green screen that moves back and forth. But
we can make this musical. I've got a grand piano in my background.
Oh, go back there and play it for me real quick. Let me see you.
Yeah, I'll do that in a few minutes. Just hold your breath for that.
How long do I hold my breath for?
Tell as long as it takes.
See, I told you our podcast, we're not as professional as other podcasts, but we do have fun.
So Adam pointed that out yesterday. We were on with Lawyer Lee doing a podcast, and right away it impressed us that she was so professional. She had her list of questions. She was very structured, and Adam couldn't help it. He had to say, boy, you are very professional. That's not at all like our podcast. So thanks for pointing that out for her.
I think people like, who knows what they like, but I think people like just normal talk, but maybe people like very sophisticated, professional podcasts. I don't know.
I think people are going to tell us what they like, but we wanted on this live, since we've been on Lawyer Lee, we were on, you saw the podcast with Mike King, and Mike King ran the same podcast with his followers on there. And so, of course, when we're on with other people, we're answering their questions. And it dawned on us yesterday, while we're answering all these questions, we need to make sure that the people that are in our community, now I know not all of you have access to writing questions to us right now. Not all of you get online and write questions or in the comments to us, but the people that are on with us live and the people that comment after, we want to make sure that we're available to you answering questions, because we answered some questions that I realized when we were answering them, I haven't answered this question before. And we just want to make sure our people that watch this regularly get their questions answered. I know Kimberly on the Facebook group sometimes doesn't want to bother us. They're Kimberly and Lindsay, who help us tremendously, are very protective of us. And if you were on Lawyer Lee last night, you saw that in the comments as people were going back and forth.
I didn't see any of it. Was it bad about me and you? Or was it bad about us or the podcast or the book or just our family?
Yes. It wasn't bad. As usual, the majority of the comments were very positive.
Oh.
See, we tend to lose sight of that when there are a few trolls, we aren't used to that. And we think, good grief, they're trolls. These comments are really bad. The vast majority of comments were good, but I just named Kimberly and Lindsay. There were others too in there that had our back, Adam. So yeah. We always appreciate that. It feels good, but it leaves the impression maybe with some of you that we don't want questions, or maybe you're later to the game. You joined us recently and you think, well, they've probably already talked about that and don't want to talk about it. Adam and I understand, since we put ourselves in the podcast world, one, not everyone likes us or will like us. And two, not everyone listens to everything, of course. And so we're going to get the same questions over and over again. We're okay with that. We get to choose, fortunately, with this forum, what questions we answer. So there's something we don't want to answer, we don't, or we may bring it up and say, no, we aren't going to answer that. Like, I was really glad Adam last night, when he was asked about Zach, he said, Zach doesn't want us talking about him, so I won't answer that. I think that's great, just so you know where we are, what we'll answer, what we won't. We always try to be transparent, always try to be honest, or we're always honest. We aren't always right. So we always give it a shot.
I mean, we think we're right most of the time. I think we think we're right.
We think we're right at the time.
Yeah, sometimes we thought we were right. We're like, oh, I guess we were wrong about that. especially with timing and timelines and things like that.
And something else I noticed, Adam, is we don't acknowledge how many positive comments there are and what that does for us. Your positive comments make a tremendous difference for me and Adam. We would not have continued past our originally planned 10 comments had there not been such positive comments from y'all for us to continue. We wouldn't have known that you were getting a great impact from this. So we don't recognize that all the time, or we don't say that to you, but we do very much appreciate all the positive comments. So I put one up here to just emphasize that. Thank you, TT.
I said this when I first started watching your podcast. God bless you both and your strength alone. Good.
Yep. And I don't always put up these comments from different places. South Africa from Brenda Lang. That's impressive.
I don't know what time it is in South Africa, but thanks for being with us today. I guess we picked the right time during the day here in Arizona. Well, you're in Utah.
Or they're staying up late because some people do that, or getting up early or whatever.
It's spring break. It's spring break time, or is it past spring break? Remember Daytona Beach, Florida was like the spring break capital of the world. We're getting Michael from there who's watching. Thank you for sending that.
Michael. And Mary, who watches regularly, is in Scotland, where it's 11 p.m.
Yeah, Scotland.
That is above and beyond the call of duty.
Yeah.
And we want to thank our moderators also. We have moderator Mel, Melanie Sartain, and Missy. Missy's working with technical issues. I'm working with voice issues. Mel, why don't you take over starring comments since Missy can't do that right now? So if you would, go ahead and take over that duty for us.
We got people from San Antonio, Texas, people from Australia checking in, all kinds of places. Gilbert, Arizona. That's.
Are you checking in, Adam? Are you commenting?
No, I'm not in Gilbert. I'm in Tucson today. By the way, I'm at my friend Eric's house. Eric has been a very important person in my life. Probably my best friend. He's helped me through so much stuff. And so he was in a role. Yeah, he helped me with my first book. He helped me do the audio book for it, and he helped me. He's helped me with a lot of my life coaching and helped me with all kinds of stuff in life. So he's been a great strength for me. So he last week was in where was he? In Houston, Texas. He's a triathlete, and so he actually bumped bikes. He went flying in the air, broke his collarbone, broke his shoulder, road rash all over. So I came down to see him today. And of course, this whole week he's been training on his bike with a broken collarbone. He goes in tomorrow to have surgery to have a plate put in there. And he's still like, if that happens to me, I'm out for a month and I just want nothing but pain medication until I can function. But he's on another level than me. But I'm glad to be in Tucson, Arizona today.
He had a role also back in the Charles situation.
This was the house. This was the house that he had another house. This house was being built at the time, but this is when I found out that Charles was dead when I was at Eric's house.
When Eric looked it up for you.
Yeah.
Right? Christina from Layton, Utah is with us. I won't get all of the locations here, but we don't do this
roll call
time, so I wanted to get some of them.
Hello from Montreal. That's from Joanne. A lot of people like all over the place. I love it. Thank you guys for following us, watching us, and feel free to tell your family and friends about our podcast. Rex and I are really trying to get the word out about our journey in healing, and we would love for other people that have the need to heal or feel loved or accepted or not lonely or whatever it is. I really feel like this podcast is that venue for people to come.
Very good. And Michael, who was the first one on, said he came over from Lawyer Lee. So
Oh,
welcome, Michael.
yeah.
People from Pennsylvania, Sandy, and Michael, even in the chat, people are welcoming you. People from Montana, um, all the love for Kimberly and for Lindsay here in the chat. We love that. Adam, is that a green screen?
Yeah, it's actually a legitimate green screen. So I can move it and you'll see a room behind here. So but I was telling Rex, I was like, maybe I should pretend like there's something behind me. And I'm like, but we're not doing that. Somebody did ask when I lived in Little Rock, Arkansas, what radio station I worked for when I was in Little Rock, Arkansas. I saw that comment earlier. And it was called oh gosh, I forget now. Hot something 1051. I've worked for so many radio stations. But that was back in 1998, 99, and 2000 when I was in Little Rock. So it was a minute ago.
Adam, I'll point this out to you from Liz, of course, a good long-term optimist for us, loves our podcast. But if you check the Rex and Adam email, we got an email from her today that you'll be interested in also. Very, very compelling. And we may want to talk to Liz, see if she wants to share her story.
I love when optimists feel like if they feel like they would like to share their story of their trauma or drama or what things that they've learned in life from it, and then we put you on, and then that helps somebody else. Rex and I, our situation and how we feel and how we're trying to heal, maybe not for everybody, and maybe there's other people that heal some completely different, and it's better for them.
In fact, let's respond to this. I don't know if that's Rocker Raque Acevedo from MX. I don't even know where that is. I saw you
Mexico.
both with Lawyer Lee. Oh, Mexico, of course.
Yeah.
Saw you both with Lawyer Lee. Very insightful and inspiring. I know it must be so difficult trying to respond to the same questions every time. What do you say to that, Adam?
Um, I'm used to it. It depends on what the questions are and what direction they're going. And I don't mind people being curious, but I do like to stick to, more of the part of us trying to heal from this tragedy. I know a lot of people want more details and things like that. And that's fine because sometimes the details help us understand. Because the first time we came on this podcast, it was like, we're all trying to understand what happened with Lori and Chad. And so for us doing this podcast, details are important sometimes with trying to understand how this could even be, because it's stranger than fiction of what happened.
Let's address this here, Adam, from Lindsay Shea. I don't get the negativity towards Rex or Adam. Makes no sense. I do get the negativity. Let me comment on them, then I'll have you comment on Adam.
Okay.
First of all, there's some people that are just mean, and so they're going to be negative for anyone. Let's leave them out as okay. Some people are just like that, but there's been a lot of information out there. In fact, Adam and I were talking about this just before this podcast. There are a lot of information from people that say things that leave a lot of people to pick up that piece of information and run with it. And then when we come along after the fact, to the people that got that information before, it is gospel. It is etched in stone. It is true. And when Adam and I give a different perception or a different explanation for whatever that information was, right away they doubt us or they think we are, what's the word, naive. Okay. Oh, we're just, I already heard this, or so and so is great and got this from a document, so it must be true. And so if you don't agree with it, you just don't know. You're too close to the situation. You're too far from the situation. You're whatever it is. So I get people being negative, and that's why I've said many times, I'm fine with people believing whatever they want to believe, whatever their source is, and having whatever source they want. If they don't want us as a source of information for family details in this case, I'm fine if they get their information from anywhere. Adam and I will give you what we think or what we believe or what we've observed, but we don't require anyone to believe it. And we understand some people aren't going to trust us. We understand we're here on a podcast making apparently tons of money and wrote a book and are making tons of money. I'm looking forward to that rolling in, Adam. I don't know about you. But that might be our motive for doing this, or we just want fame, glory, whatever. I get people not trusting us, and so some people are less than tactful or less than kind in the way they express it. That's fine, because we all want justice for Tylee and JJ. That's what this is all about. So I just try to keep that in mind. Okay, they don't trust me, but at least they're involved in listening or looking for information, commenting, trying to get justice for Tylee and JJ. That's why I feel we're on the same side. And they may just not believe us, or they believe someone else instead of us that has a different opinion. We're okay with that. Adam, anything you want to say on that topic?
No, I feel like, everybody's going to have their opinion. People pick up things all the time. Oh, I heard this, or I heard that. And so it feels right to them. So they want to believe that, then that's what they're going to believe, even if it's not the truth. So, I mean, that's just part of life. And I guess when you put yourself out on a podcast like we are, people are just going to be negative and they have their own agenda, whatever that may be, or, so yeah, I appreciate our optimists always getting our back. There's a few times where I'll be on a comment, like we'll be on somebody's show and I'll be reading some of the comments, and sometimes I can't help myself. Like I think where were we on? I think we were on what was it called?
STS, Surviving the Survivor.
Yeah, I think maybe that there was a comment on there that I had to say something, and I guess I shouldn't have, but I did, and that I never went back and checked to see what they replied after I did. But at least I got something out, because I'm still healing. I'm still, some things do get to me. And some people's podcasts apparently are geared towards negativity, and Rex and I just don't want to go down those routes and put our energy into it.
So since we're talking about that, let me name a name here, Adam, that we were just talking about, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So my niece Megan, who I love and is a wonderful, wonderful communicator, explains herself real well. And she texted me today and said, "Hey, I was on such and such a podcast. They want to have you on. I didn't want to give her your number, so here's her information for you to contact her." And Adam and I talked about it. And I have nothing against Megan. I listened to the podcast that Megan was on. Megan has a different view of things than us, which we like her having a different view. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'm just saying this as an example. She has her own experiences and her own view on things, and ours are different enough that if we went on that podcast and people were asking the same questions, we would spend the entire podcast just explaining why our views are different than Megan's on the same topics. We don't want to spend people's time, our time, or anyone else's time explaining why something else is different that in mine and Adam's mind, and Adam, I'll let you comment it, so I'm not just speaking for you, but in our minds, it doesn't matter. And we know people are going to ask those questions. That's why we probably won't go on the podcast, because it doesn't matter. We'd be talking about things that it doesn't matter if Alex and Lori had a sexual relationship or not. They didn't. But it doesn't matter. Us trying to battle that question every time. And we know people are going to ask about, because Deb got on and in 5 minutes of her life saw something inappropriate, said it on the internet. And so, boom, everyone runs with it as gospel. Okay. We get that, but we don't want to go behind and explain that after someone else spend a whole podcast doing that. Adam, did I explain that well enough?
Yeah, and we actually do. I think we answered that on Lawyer Lee's show. I think we
Lawyer Lee, We
Yeah,
did a podcast. I mean, an announcement on it.
yeah, we've done a lot about it, how we feel about it, what we think about it, and all that. So, yeah, I'm bored 100% with that. So, we do got some people that are super stickers or that are donating money. So, if we want to mention their names, I just see them on the screen. I just can't see their names up there.
I haven't,
$20 and $10.
I
So,
haven't gotten down that far yet.
oh,
So
you haven't?
let
Okay.
me catch up with you here.
They're all the I think these are all the way at the top. We just like to recognize those people because apparently, when you do a podcast and people donate money, you're supposed to mention their names. We're we're learning all kinds of cool stuff with the
I think
podcast.
we do well at that. I should say that
Yeah,
our
you usually do that, yeah, but I see it at the top of my screen. I don't know why you're saying the bottom, but I don't know.
yeah, I'm scrolling through it.
Okay.
Yeah, the sticker appears up there, but the
Oh,
comment
comment.
that allows me to put it
I gotcha.
on the screen is just. Um, but anyway, you optimists donated $100. It was close enough, and the foundation just rounded it up. $100 to the cause last month, which was the autism fund that Lindsay and Kimberly and the merch store were donating to. So, excuse me, I've got a little throat thing going on. So, congratulations on that. That money went to that factor. Or Lindsay's probably saying, "Wait, he didn't send me the money. My bad, Lindsay. That's my bad. I need to forward that." Okay. But Gaylin, boy, I'm trying to get this on the screen. It's just not showing up in my comments for some reason.
Hmm.
But Gaylin Macheri, boy, I wish I knew how to pronounce that.
My Sherry.
Yeah, I didn't pronounce it like that. The French, just so you wouldn't start singing. And then another one.
There it
Oh,
is.
Black Witter. It's like Black Widow with an R, not a W at
Black
the end.
Widow. Yeah.
Donated 10. I'm not sure what that is. 10 pounds
Begruders.
to annoy the
Begruders. You guys
Begruders.
are great.
You
Yeah.
guys,
I love it.
so kind of you.
Yeah.
Brett.
The good thing about doing this podcast worldwide is that we learn so much stuff from all over the world. It's amazing.
Yay! And here's the other one. I had to scroll down quite a ways. I hadn't gotten down there.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yes, you're great. Really like the pod with Mr. King. Isn't he a wonderful person too?
Yeah.
We'll be doing more with him.
We've been doing a lot of other people's podcasts. We've been doing a lot of interviews on Court TV. I guess with Chad's case going on now, and then with Lori's case coming up, we're in for it for the next, who knows, 2 or 3 months, maybe 4 months. But then think about that. Once Lori's is over, I feel like once we figure out what we know, because I know during Chad's case, people are learning more things or even having more thoughts about what they didn't think when they were listening to Lori's case. And then when we hear about Lori's case in Arizona, I'm sure after we unravel a bunch of other stuff, we'll all have probably different perspectives or different thoughts than what we do now. Somebody said they were surprised to hear me say on Lawyer Lee that I wouldn't be surprised if other people were involved in the murders besides just Lori, Chad, and Alex. So at this point, anything is possible. And so I don't know if we're ever going to find out the truth, if we're ever going to even know that stuff. So that's something that we're just going to be sit back and I guess during the court we'll find out.
Yeah, here, Adam. This is a comment I think is worth a comment from us, Darlene, whose living room I'm in. Apparently, this looks just like Darlene Butler's living room.
Oh.
She said, no matter what Alex and Lori did, they weren't always murderers. They were your loved ones first. That is a kind, compassionate observation, don't you think, Adam?
Yeah, and it's hard for people because one of the comments a while ago when Rex said that he loved Lori, and I said, well, yeah, I loved Lori. That somebody's like, well, how could you love a killer or a murderer? And I don't care what. And then the comment was, I don't care what you guys say. You should never say you love her or something. It was something to that effect that what she did to the kids was unexcusable, which it is, but we're talking about the time before all this happened. So, and everybody has their own thoughts, their own, uh, that's why I'm saying everybody's different with how they feel, information that they get, and what that information does to them inside. That's why we're doing this podcast about healing, because no matter how you take it in, how are you going to get that out? And so, how
Mhm.
are you going to heal from it? Or you're just going to let it stick inside you and eat you up. Sorry,
Exactly.
I'm getting deep. I'm sure I'm going down a deep hole here.
That's all right. Let's talk about Megan again for a second. Megan communicates really well, especially when she sings. Isn't she a great singer, Adam? We know, we went to her concert.
Yeah, it was Megan's 5 songs.
Yeah, the 5 songs in Tylee and JJ's memorial. What a beautiful voice, and she expresses herself verbally very well. Love what she talks about. We agree on a lot of areas, especially how to deal with trauma. And Megan is great on that in her podcast, etc. So nothing but love for Megan from here. Yes, Megan is so special. We agree with that. I'm going back up now that I scroll down to find those comments.
Oh, the
Oh,
stickers? My bad.
yeah.
I should have waited for you to get down there.
No, it's okay. Yeah. Victoria asks, why do people need to be rude and unkind? Probably because you can't see them back. Yeah, that's true. That anonymity of the internet really fuels that idea.
Well, there's also a lot of people in life that are they're not happy people. And you'll see that in all walks of life. You'll see some people that are happy all the time, or at least put a front on that they're happy. And then you have people that are we call them negative Nancy's. And so you just have people that are just negative. That's just how they are. So I don't know. That's how things go.
So we'll show a nice comment about that from Sarah B saying, at Rexham, you're real people and have great hearts. Thank you. And disregard the haters. Love your energy and purpose. Keep going. We love our purpose. Definitely.
Yeah, we feel like we stumbled onto something as far as people who have PTSD, people who have depression, people who have anxiety, people who are lonely, people who have a lot of trauma in their life. We feel like there's so many people that have experienced not similar things to us, or maybe sometimes it is similar, but have their own specific things that they're going through and dealing with. And there's people who've had so much trauma when they were kids, and my traumas really didn't start till I was an adult, and so I feel blessed that my childhood was fun. I got all my friends, and I just feel blessed that I got at least a good chunk of my life where I didn't have to go through a lot of trauma. And some people have had it their whole life, as you've heard from some of our optimists who have come on the show on several podcasts.
I have to laugh a little bit at him because a couple of comments when you said you said several times your life was good, you had a happy life, you guys laughed all the time, and to hear people in the comments to the point that we're making here about people making comments saying, "Poor Adam, he's delusional. He thinks he had a happy life." Like they know your life and it wasn't really happy.
Oh,
So
right.
for
Yeah.
you don't know that. You haven't lived with you for the past 50 something years. And
Nope, I'm in delusion. I'm too close to the situation. I can't figure it out.
those comments really from me are funny. So Adam, here's a comment from you. Hi from Paris, France.
Yes, I was just gonna mention the Arc de Triomphe behind me.
On the green screen that
I was
is
gonna
not
put
there.
the Paris skyline back here. So I'm in Tucson, France. It's a new city.
There may be one. Who knows?
Rex, speaking of real quick, at Paris, France, escargot. Have you ever tried it?
Hmm.
You have tried it?
I have. I
And
chose not to
what do
make
you
it like a bluebell in my life and eat it all the time.
did you but did you like it?
Not my favorite.
Okay.
I'm sure someone maybe prepared it differently, I probably still wouldn't like it
Well,
then
somebody
too.
told me about Brussels sprouts. I've never even tried a Brussels sprout. And somebody's like, "Well, if you have them at this restaurant, they prepare them so good, it's amazing." And I'm like, "Brussels sprouts are amazing? I've never even tried them." But so that's why I was thinking about Paris, France. I thought escargot is a big food there.
So maybe your grandmother didn't love you. We had them at our house. So when you guys had dinner over at our house, my mother probably didn't make you eat yours because you were a grandchild.
Wait, Noni made Brussels sprouts?
Yeah. Yeah.
You didn't like them?
That, well,
Did she force you to Rex? You're not leaving the table until you finish these Brussels sprouts.
you know, she probably used to, but we had a lot of weird things. Remember, she worked at Storeway Foods,
Uh,
dehydrated foods and stuff. And so we had a
oh,
lot of meals that were
oh, so you had to rotate
prepper type
those.
meals. Not that she was a
Yes.
prepper, well, in a sense, but
Yeah.
not the same type of preppers we're talking about. But she liked that. She grew up in West Texas, and
Yeah.
those and lima beans, I just couldn't have. Anyway, we're off
Oh,
topic.
I don't like lima beans either. Okay, we're off food.
Yep. Let's get these.
Question. I saw one question real quick about have I hugged a cow yet? The answer is no. Rex took me to a dairy that had no cows, and then we got out of town, out of Idaho, before we could find a cow to hug.
Let's blame it on me.
I got to
Okay.
blame Rex. Rex was driving. He didn't take me. He didn't take me.
Okay. Cat Baloo says, my favorite quote from what we did on our holidays: the truth is, every human being on this planet is ridiculous in their own way, so we shouldn't judge and we shouldn't fight because, in the end, oh, this goes on.
Oh, a second parter. Where is it?
Maybe it's this.
In
In
the
the
end.
end, none of it matters. None of the stuff. That's just what we were saying. There's a lot of discussion out there. Alex and Lori, and did Lori, a lot of things in her background. We don't mind answering, but that in the we don't want to do battle or spend excessive time on those topics because they don't matter. They don't talk. They don't tell us about healing. They don't help us figure out um, why Lori did what she did, why Alex did what he did, why Chad did what he did. And so I don't mind answering them, but we don't want to spend a whole lot of time on those topics for the Cat Baloo quote. We're going to call that the Cat Baloo rule.
I like it.
The son will remember that whenever there's something, we'll answer it briefly and then we'll refer to the Cat Baloo rule that in the long term, that doesn't really matter.
So somebody donated some money from Sweden, and actually Eric is married to Inger. Inger is from Sweden, so 27. I guess I don't know what dollars are. Should I go ask
Euros?
Inger?
Are they euros in Sweden? We don't even know.
Inger,
I'm sorry,
Inger.
but there are 27 of them that we appreciate, darn it.
I'm gonna bring Inger on just so she can. She's from Sweden. We have people
Okay.
watching from Sweden.
Okay. You're going to bring her on like they're in your room?
Let me see if she'll come on because you'll like Inger. Inger's good. Inger.
So now we're recruiting guests, I guess, from just from our surroundings, which I'll wait till Adam gets back. So we're looking for the starred comments on our chat, and those are ones we put on the screen. But then there's a special request. Lisa has a direct line, and she texted me.
Come in here, Inger. Come. So this is Inger. This is Eric's wife. She's from Sweden.
Hello, Inger.
She's the sweetest woman in the world. We all love her. So somebody donated 27. What's the money in in Sweden? Say it again. Okay, and what's
Crowns?
that? Yeah, it's the crowns.
Yeah.
So what's 27 crowns in dollars? Would you say
It's about
$5?
27. It's about $30.
$30? Oh, so it's more.
Almost, yeah.
Oh, so it's less,
Yeah.
more here.
So it's about like 10 crowns is about $1.
Oh, okay. Oh, so 27 would be
Inger, would you do the math
That
for
would
him,
be
please?
$2.
70.
No, $2.70. So Inger's not a math wizard. I didn't say that. I said she's very sweet and she's from
I
Sweden.
don't know how to do math.
So
Sorry.
this tells you all the people that are here. So there's just people from Sweden and all over the
Oh my
world.
gosh, that's amazing.
Yes.
That
So
is amazing.
anyways, this is
Awesome.
Inger. She's very lovely, and she's been a great support for me. So thank you, Inger.
Thank you so much.
All right,
Thank you.
so
This was awesome.
we got it. We got what we wanted from Inger. Thanks, Inger.
Okay, very good. So let me I have a request from Lisa. Adam, let me do this. Lisa had a rough day. This is why I love our community, our entire community, even especially the people that don't comment. We keep you in mind. We know you're there. You aren't watching. Sometimes you're just listening. I love the entire community, but you're well represented in the Facebook community. And Lisa made a post, and we've talked before about um, how amazing it was to us that Lisa even got on the community. She's not a jump on social media and make herself visible type of person, and so that itself was amazing. But then she made a post the other day. She was having a hard time because the saddest part of this whole tragedy with Tylee and JJ that we stayed away from until I happened to be in court the wrong day during Lori's trial and was forced to find out how the children were killed. Well, in Chad's trial, those of you that are listening to it know that during this last week, there was a repeat of that. Lisa heard some of that and listened to it. She hasn't been immune to it, but it's just tremendously sad. She's having a hard day. So she posted that on the Facebook community. Oh my goodness. Y'all that are on the Facebook community did what you always do. And there were over 50 comments supporting her, giving her love. Just reading her text, and she just wanted me to relay her thanks to all of you that responded to that and that supported her. Oh, here's one of my favorite quotes that Jewel Gazer is quoting me on. I appreciate that. Love is unconditional, relationships are not. Okay, and that's why Adam and I can love our family members, love Lori. I think I said this yesterday in context with Melanie Pulowski. We love Melanie. The relationship strained, of course, because we're waiting to find out how involved she was, and it's just a tough family situation. It's a tough life situation, of course, but it's a tough family situation. Someone you know and love being involved something, and we have all the information that everyone else has, and that's all the information we have. We want questions answered, but in the meantime, we still love Melanie and hope the truth comes out. All right. So, Adam, there's a comment here from our friend Shady Lamps.
Shady Lamps, we love her.
You can handle that. I'll see what's
Hopefully
going.
hopefully she's been going to the what's the thing, the market. She sells a bunch of stuff at the whatchamacallit market.
Like farmers market.
Farmers market, yeah. I have a heart that feels for, I'm looking through a camera, people that makes bad decisions and do horrible things. Sometimes I feel guilty, but I don't feel bad for Lori for the choices she's made and what she will have to live with. Yeah, that's fair for
But she
sure.
made those choices.
Yeah. Yeah, anybody that makes their choice, we all have consequences for every choice that we make, and there's nothing anybody else can do about it. Rex talks about this in his latest book about, natural law, natural consequences. Things happen and there's nothing you can do about it. That's just the way things are when you make a decision. And that's why following your conscience, making decisions, will help us be better at making decisions.
Thank you, Adam. We're having a technical problem here. Imagine that, us with a technical problem.
Oh,
Where Melanie's telling us, hey, there are 30 starred questions there.
yeah, I
and
don't see any.
I can't see them.
Yeah, I can't either.
Mine. So
She sent me a text. I was like, I don't see them. Sorry.
and I'm trying to get there where normally I can click on it and see it, and now I don't have it. There's the same problem Missy was having at the beginning. So, excuse me.
Oh, you're back up with that one. I see one from Shalou. Rex, do you know when you're going to be in Boise?
I will be in Boise this coming Tuesday and Wednesday.
Okay.
Thank you for bringing that up. On Tuesday, just after the trial, we're going to have a live instead of having normally we post a podcast on Tuesday. We'll probably do 2 lives next week. So Tuesday at 4:30 Mountain Time, we are going to have a live. We're trying to check with our good friend Tom Evans, who is juror number 18 in Lori's trial. He's going to be there. We've asked him to do the live with us. So Adam will be in Arizona. Tom and I, if Tom can join us, will be there in Idaho, and we'll do a live from there. So I'll be there Tuesday and Wednesday. Wednesday I'll be with my daughter Kimmy, and that's why I get to go this week. Kimmy is going to be in Boise to do a dance. She works with me in my regular business, but she's also a professional country line dance instructor, and she's going to be in Boise doing dance instruction over the weekend. So if any of you are in Boise, I'll be hanging out at the courthouse.
Hanging out at the courthouse
all day. Let me show this from Nona Malou, one of our regular contributors. Thank you, Kimberly B., and all the kind optimists out there. Appreciate and grateful for y'all. Very much, Nona Malou. We're with you on that one. Missy reminds us that there are 344 in the live chat. Please smash the like button. At the end of the last time we were on Court TV during the week, at the end, Vinny asked me, Rex, what's your biggest surprise of the trial so far, meaning Chad's trial? And I reflect this after Lisa pointed it out to me earlier. I said, yeah, that's a surprise, and that is the biggest tragedy. So the biggest tragedy to me is the biggest surprise, and that is that Chad would put, his attorney John Pryor said that 3 or 4 of Chad's children are going to testify for Chad. Now, you can't get any lower than conspiring to kill the people that they killed, to kill your own wife, to kill these children, to kill Lori's husband. How low can you get? Well, in your defense, you can drag your children through the horrible experience of going into court and testifying for their dad. I don't know what their belief is. I don't know them at all. I don't know what they have to say. But just aside from all that, just putting someone in that position, making them go to trial, putting them out in the public when obviously they don't want to be in the public. They did one TV show, that's all they've done, so they don't want to be there. And to make them go through that to defend him, that just when you think you can't go any lower, can you think of anything lower than that, Adam?
No, I think that's pretty intense, and who knows what's going to happen with that. But we're not expecting a lot of good things to come from Chad. But Rex and I, when we were in Idaho, got a chance to meet Chad's brother and Heather. Is his name Matt?
Matt.
Yeah. So Matt and he's married to Heather. Somebody just asked a question on the live. Adam, are you going to continue, or are you going to talk to Heather Daybell? And Rex and I thought we would love to have both of them on the podcast, just because I feel like what her and Matt and Heather were telling me a little bit about what they were going through with Chad's parents, where Chad's parents were a little bit in denial of what was going on, almost like my parents were kind of in denial of what was going on when Lori was doing all this stuff. So Matt and Heather were a lot like me and my wife at the time, Nicole, trying to say, look, these are the red flags, and yelling and screaming and trying to get, but we were cut off, so we didn't really get a chance to do that. Matt's parents didn't really cut them off, so I guess they had conversations. But it would be interesting to get Matt and Heather on just to find out how similar from their perspective things were going on when things were going on with my family, like Lori and Chad's telling their parents whatever they're telling them, or that the parents couldn't see the red flags because they are parents of kids that couldn't believe that their kids would be involved in anything crazy. So yeah, I answer your question. Yeah, we would love to have Heather on and Matt on.
Yeah, we won't make promises because we can't always deliver on people coming on. Because
no, I mean they're invited. I'm not saying we're going to, but yeah, we would like to have them on and talk to them. I think it'd be great.
That's something we've learned in the podcasting world. Some people get excited one day to come on the podcast, and the next day they aren't so sure, and then they don't want to, and
then they're done, and then they walk away.
And I get that. It is so. Adam and I have the personality. And I think what it is, Adam, is the troll thing. None of us like to be trolled, okay? Including Adam and I. I mean, for me, the negative comments, yeah, we hear them, they hurt, but we have a way to get past that, maybe for whatever reason. But most people don't have that way to get past that, and it's just cruel. Some of the comments people make, or some of the misunderstandings. And so why put yourself out there? I was really surprised when people made a couple negative comments after our live, Adam, about Barry and Janice, and saying, well, we're burying Janice at the memorial. If they weren't, that's just disrespectful. And I thought, you moron. I actually blocked that person just because I thought, do you know what these people have been going through? And who are you to say they should put themselves out in public to why? So you'll think, oh, good, they're there and can argue. I was just beside myself. I guess I lost it a little bit there.
Yeah. There's sometimes where, it's a double-edged sword if you're part of our family, because if you don't go to the trial and sit on the thing, then you're not supporting the kids. And if you do go, you're there to support Lori. Or, I mean, it's both sides of it. It's super difficult to make a decision, but I make decisions based on how I feel about the situation. And when you're in our situation and you have the grief and all the things that go along with what's happened in your family, you make the best decision that's for you, not for what the public thinks you should do or judges you for what you do or don't do. Nobody knows how you celebrated Tylee and JJ's life. Nobody knows what you do privately. Nobody knows any of that stuff. So to show yourself in public and, well, we got to go show our respects. Maybe you showed your respects other ways that nobody else knows about. So, those kinds of things when people judge other people, like if somebody else's family went through this, I would never say you should go do this or you should go do this. Let everybody do what they feel comfortable doing without judging people. I just don't like the judgment.
Well, I would have advice for them.
Yeah.
Follow your conscience. That's all I got. It's
a good one. Even though that's all you got, that's a good one to have. It covers a lot of bases. It
covers everything in life.
That's it. Natural law and your conscience. What more do you want? Really, that's the secret.
Every situation in life. That's the.
You should have called your book "The Secret 2."
The Secret 2. Yep, that's the secret. Oh, I don't want it to be a secret. I'm trying to get it out there.
Get the word out. Yeah.
So Dog Mom says, I'm really trying so hard to get my very best friend of 20 years out of this cult that is an extension of the Mormons. It's called The Gathering of People, and she just won't listen to me.
Mm.
That is rough, isn't it? When you can see someone you know and love, or just someone you know, into something that you can see from the outside, things that they can't see, maybe won't listen to you. This isn't advice, but a specialist in that area is Mike King. And the name of his podcast is, what is it, Adam?
Mike King's podcast.
Profiling Evil. Thank you, babe.
Yeah.
Profiling Evil.
I don't watch a lot of podcasts. I'm sorry.
Well, we were just on it a week ago.
I know. I like Mike. I just don't know I don't watch a lot of podcasts. I like him personally, but I don't see a lot of podcasts.
But that is what his specialty was as a law enforcement. He was a specialist. He led task forces against cult related crimes.
Well, something else about this comment has got a lot of people that aren't LDS, quote unquote Mormons. The problem is that because Lori and Chad were part of the church and then went off on their own pathway, which sounds like this cult were Mormons, and then they went off their own pathway. The problem with that is once you leave the church and the church's teachings, you're no longer considered a Mormon or LDS. You're doing something different. Like Lori and Chad started the Church of the Firstborn or whatever they're calling it. This one's called the Gathering of the People. And so what people get confused is, oh, the Mormons do this and the church gets a bad name. The Mormons get a bad name because of a certain group of people that used to be LDS was doing something else. Now, if somebody was Catholic and started a cult and did something else, for some reason, they just call it a cult. They don't say the Catholic cults or the Protestants started doing this and now they're doing this cult thing. It's always the LDS or the Mormons, and it's something different. So just be careful with that too. Investigate, what these cults are about and what the principles are of these cults.
Well, it's like anything else. Just does it make sense that a church would sanction killing kids? No, it obviously isn't a church effort to do what Chad and Lori did. It's just evil people using religion because that's a common, just a common tool.
All religions have all religions have problems, or people who believe in these religions that are members of their church or whatever do all kinds of things. So it's people, not the actual principles of whatever gospel you believe in.
Yeah. And I don't mind people talking about the church because the church was an influence in Lori and Chad's life and the people around them, or most of the people around them. So yeah, you should look at it and see what the relationship is. But when people choose to do evil, they are choosing to do evil. There aren't too many churches around that are telling people to do evil. Okay, I know there's some exceptions, but
and I don't care. And Rex and I, look, there's people that are LDS that aren't LDS anymore, and that's fine. Everybody has their own place in life and they have their own experiences why they're not a member of the church anymore. And I'm all for whatever people want to do with their life or whatever experiences they have, why they left the church. And so Rex and I have talked about this. I think the most important thing besides, attaching yourself to a religion is attaching yourself to either God or Jesus or whatever higher being there is, or the universe, or whatever you believe in. I feel everybody has their own path and I'm fine with everybody choosing whatever is right for them. And I don't judge anybody who leaves the church. I'm okay with whatever you feel like you need to do.
If you're following your conscience for your own life, follow it and go where it leads you.
Yeah.
Please, fellow optimists, if you haven't heard the podcast with Silver Linings and Profiling Evil, it was so deep, wise, and thought-provoking. That's from Mrs. Jackson. And it points out, Adam, that in every other podcast, it was just you and I. This podcast that was so deep, wise, and thought-provoking included Mike King.
Wild
Who was the common
speculations.
denominator there?
Yeah, wild speculations on that podcast, by the way. And we learned some things and started thinking about things. He said things that I didn't think of. I said some things about Charles's death that he never thought of. So it was good to hear that.
Yeah, I'm just giving props to Mike King for the wise, deep and wise and thought-provoking person that he is. I want to give props to him for that. That's a great experience for all of us, as Adam said. So we still don't have our technology going here.
No, I mean, I'm looking at comments as they pop up.
Okay.
If one catches my eye.
I think it'll be back with us probably in about 3 minutes, Adam.
Right when it's over.
Yeah.
Once the podcast is over, we'll be, oh, here they all are. Where were these?
Okay, I've got to point out Tori Meyer's comment here. Okay. I'm not a fan of John Pryor at all. She's being diplomatic, of course, calling Tammy fat and lazy, then put Chad kids on trial. Yeah, he's digging himself a grave for sure. Okay, I get that, and I'm with you, Tori. What I'm going to say next is not trying to combat what you're saying, but thank goodness someone is defending Chad. And what do they have to work with? They don't have anything from Chad. He's just there's what defense is there? So John Pryor's working with his own imagination or whatever he can do. And Chad needs representation. So I appreciate that he's in a role. I don't like what he says or his tactics, but someone had to do it, and he's doing it. But I'm with you. I'm not necessarily a fan. I'm just saying.
Somebody asked me if I'm in therapy.
Right now he is.
Well, I guess, yeah. So here, I haven't found a therapist. Well, Dr. Denham was on, and I did do a session live on a podcast with him. It wasn't expected, but I did ask him.
Into a session, yes.
It literally turned into like a 20-minute me therapy session, but I haven't got to a therapist yet and sat down on a couch. I'm kind of scared to do that, to be honest with you, at this point. I do believe that writing our book was very therapeutic for me. I believe doing this podcast has been very therapeutic for me. It's great to hear from other people who have gone through trauma and listen and really try to figure out how did they get through the things that they got through. And we've mentioned several times, music and writing things down and, going for walks in nature. And, I was talking to my mom earlier today, and I was like, Mom, people, just want to know, how are you doing with all this? And she really said that she wouldn't be able to sleep at night unless she went running. So for my mom, she runs every single day just to live, to get out of all the things that she's been through. So I feel like at some point, and I haven't even grieved Alex's death yet. So, and I don't even know how to do that. So like I said, I know I have a lot of issues with this whole thing. I know Rex has 3 or 4 therapists that he talks to. And so at some point, I believe, I don't know when this is going to happen, but I feel bad for the therapist that's going to sit in a chair next to me and listen to what I have to say.
Let me ask a question, Adam. When your mom goes running, is it around the pool in her high heels?
Well, it used to be. My mom's been running her whole life to get out anxiety and all
around
that.
Around the pool.
Well, it's funny now. We around the pool, and then one time a raccoon chased her. I remember that. She's screaming, and there's a raccoon that's chasing my mom, and she's running. And the raccoon couldn't catch her. I was like, "Dang, that raccoon's slow." But I think my mom runs around her house. Actually, I know she goes to the gym and runs and stuff. But like I said, with therapy and being therapeutical, people have said from the very first podcast, if you go back and watch Silver Linings, Tylee and JJ Silver Lining podcast number 1, when me and Rex came on and tried to do a first podcast, people said from that podcast till now, they've seen a huge difference in me. So I'm grateful for that. So obviously, talking about it, writing the book, being, part of the Facebook group, all these things have really, really helped. Talking with Ben and Dr. Denham and other, people who have really given us some really good insight and information how to heal from trauma and anxiety and depression and all those things.
Jillian Raby says it's all therapy. Dr. Vonda Kay has donated $19.99. She's so grateful. That's 3 sows, 4 sows, 5 sows. Okay.
She made a
sows.
live. It's because some people always make comments. I
made
missed
a
the live. I got a notification too late. I don't know what happened.
And Dr. Vonda Kay being on there reminds me, we are so close. It hurts Adam and I not to be able to announce things that are so close. But we are so close to announcing some good things going on that have been behind the scenes that are coming out from our from the foundation that y'all are donating to. Dr. Vonda Kay just donated $19.99 to it.
I love it.
But we don't want to announce them too soon. But they're coming out soon. And on that note, Dr. Vonda Kay, I don't remember, but I know there are at least 2 or 3 therapists amongst our optimists. We are one of the announcements we will make, and we're very close to making, is if people, if there are therapists in here, whatever type of therapist or coach, we are collecting and want to make available to anyone a list of therapists and or coaches that our optimists may want to contact for, if their license allows them to do treatment long distance or whatever the situation is. We just want to find that out. So let us know, any of y'all that are therapists and want to use this as a platform to advertise your therapist coaching services. And we'll do it in a tasteful way. We'll work that out together, but we're very close to working on that. We really want this platform to become a resource for people who are healing from trauma and tragedies. Adam, any closing comments on that?
Yeah, somebody just asked about our Facebook page, and I talk about this a lot. A while ago, Kimberly came up with an idea, and she's like, "I'm going to start a Facebook group from the podcast." She sent me a thing. I accepted. So for a while, there was just Kimberly and I in this Facebook group, and it's somebody said, "What's it called?" It's called Tylee and JJ's Silver Lining Podcast Community. And I will tell you this. There are so many posts in there that are uplifting, supportive, non-judgmental, funny. It's such a great group. When you think about Facebook groups, just in general, sometimes it's like wacky and there's crazy and people are like, "I can't be in here anymore," or whatever. This one, you actually look forward to going in there and reading a lot of the posts. So make comments. If you want to join, feel free to join the Facebook group if you're on Facebook.
And I have to put this on: a werewolf is a psychiatric nurse therapist, happy to volunteer. We want volunteers. We'll also we want people who do this as a profession, and yes, we won't be in the middle of it, but they'll make money if people go to them and pay them. So not only volunteers, but people that make a living doing this. So thank you, a werewolf, and we'll certainly include that. And we had one more just to close with some dark humor. Victoria Tabor says, "Maybe not Jody Hildebrandt." Okay, we will not be recommending anyone to Jody Hildebrandt. We do have some experience with that Lisa's not going to talk about, at least at this time. Lisa, who just happened to have walked in the room. So that's all of our live today, but we'll have you going to join us?
I was going to say
to
hi.
sign off. We'll be back on Tuesday, and closing remarks now from the gorgeous
Lisa. No, Lisa, go ahead, Lisa. You're on. Let her do it.
I just want to say thanks again to the group, for your love and support. And I also saw that it was Tammy Daybell's birthday today. So I just wanted to wish Tammy a happy heavenly birthday. So yep. I've loved getting to know more about her through, the comments from, family and friends, and just what a tragedy, a life taken too soon. So anyway, Thanks everybody. Appreciate you.
Thank you for closing on a appropriate but sad note.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, babe. We love you guys. See you soon.